For part C, it says the function g is given by g of x equals the integral from -2 to x on f of t dt. Find the absolute maximum value of g on the interval from -2 to 5. Justify your answer. For part C, it says the function g is given by g of x equals the integral from -2 to x on f of t dt. And it's basically asking to find the absolute maximum value of g on the interval from -2 to 5. So the first step in finding this out is we're going to have to recognize that this is a candidates test. And basically that means we're going to have to find the critical points and the endpoints. And from the graph, we can tell that the endpoints are -2 and 5, and it's also given in the question. And the critical points when it crosses the x-axis. So that would be -1, as we can see, and 1/2. And the first step to finding the f of x is to actually find the area of our graph here. So I think it'll be easiest to split it up into 4 sections. So we'll take it from -2 to -1, and we can see that this area is just obviously 1/2 because it is just half of the unit. And then down here, we can see this area is -3/4 because you have the -1/2 here, and then -1/4. Which would be -3/4. And then logically, you can split it up here where the line starts to curve, so we can split it up into the straight points. If you take this area and add it there, you'd get 2 plus 1/4, and 2 and 1/4 is 9/4. And then this final section with the curve, you would have to know that the radius of this circle would be 3, as we can see, because the center point would be right here. And to find the area, it's pi r squared. And since we know r is 3, we can get 9 pi. And since it's 1/4 a circle, we divide that by 4. And we know this is 9 in total, so we do 9 minus 9 pi over 4. And then, since we have the area now, we can basically tell that we can fill out this table using the areas. So the integral from -2 to 2 would just be 0 because it stays at the same point. So we have that. And as we're doing this, we're trying to find the maximum value because that's what we're trying to find the question. We're trying to find the absolute maximum. From -2 to 5, the total, we just add up the sum of all of them. So 1/2 minus 3/4 plus 9/4, and then minus the 9 minus 9 pi over 4 would all equal out to 11 minus 9 pi over 4. And then to find from -2 to -1 is just the 1/2. And then to find from -2 to the 1/2, the critical point, we would do 1/2 minus 3/4, which is -1 over 4. And with these points, we can determine that the absolute maximum would be 5 and 11 minus 9 pi over 4. And once we get this answer, we're going to have to write it out as just a developed statement. So the graders know how we came to that conclusion and how we use the candidates test. So you'd say g of x is continuous, therefore the absolute max is at an endpoint or critical point by using the candidates test, obviously. And then, therefore, the absolute max is 11 minus 9 pi over 4 by, and then you'll just say candidates test. And that will be your answer.